Hello, London. This is Mayor Weddle. I'm here with a very special guest. We came out to visit Jerry Hale. Jerry's been in our community for a very long time. Jerry's 91, going to be 92 in September.
Right.
Jerry, how long have you been in this community?
I started out, I went to Indianapolis and stayed up there until 70. And then I moved back here, bought a service station over here in town, run it till the gas went out of business, so I sold it. So then I went back to trucking. So that's what I wound up retiring from.
So when you went up to Indianapolis, what did you do up there?
Well, I got a job up there in the trucking, working on the docks at a trucking company.
Okay.
And worked there till I got some experience to drive, and then I started driving.
And there's a lot, during this time, there's a lot of people that was leaving out of this area.
One right after another. Yep.
And I know a lot of people in my family had to. They went to Ohio and different places.
Well, I started here when I got out of school. You go to a place here, you had to have somebody in there, your uncle, your aunt, or cousin working to pull you in. I didn't have that. So I got a job at a sawmill. When I got that, I worked about 3 or 4 months, and I said, this ain't for me. One Sunday morning, I got up, had an old car bought and everything. I said, I'm going north. I went to Indianapolis. Went up there and got the job. I run into this guy up here from Hazard. He said, go here where I work, get you a good job. I said, no, I won't have no pull or nothing. Don't know nobody. He said, tell him I sent you. I went over and I told him that he'd sent me over, the guy from Hazard, and they knowed him. He was well liked. So I filled out the application, and I figured, well, that's it. I went home. 12 o'clock that day, he called me, said, be back in there at work that evening at 3 o'clock. That eased my pain right there. So I started working for them. Worked for them till, well, I worked for them for about a couple of years. And I thought, well, I'll move to Louisville. Went to Louisville and got me a job in Pillsbury making biscuits. So I got a raise there, $1.10 an hour. So I got that, and man, you talk about work and sweat. I said, I ain't handling this either. I went back to Indianapolis because I'd already belonged to Union there. I was already in the Union. I already had to go back to Union Hall. I got back in the Union, so I started there and stayed there in the truck until 1970. I come back here and bought a service station over here in town at Chevron on North Main there. So the guy from Mount Vernon, he wanted to buy it, and I said, brother, you got her. So I sold it to him. I went back in the trucking business. So I worked in the trucking business till retired in 2002. So here I am.
And then 2002, you retired.
Yeah.
Who was your parents? Did they live here in Laurel County?
Yeah, Jim and Virgie Hale.
Okay.
They lived down 192. There, the old Hale's Mill down there. You know where that little restaurant is?
Yeah.
That's where I come, born and raised.
So they lived out in the county there.
They lived that big white house back this side of there on the right.
Okay. How many brothers? Do you have any brothers?
Well, I have one passed away when he was young, and then my other brother, he died at 103. He went to World War II, fought over there till it was over. He fought in the Battle of the Bulge and all that big stuff. And he come back here and he worked at a garage up here in town. He's a body man, so he worked up there until he retired. Well, he's already drawing a pension from the Army, but he worked there till he come work no more. So, and he had 9 kids, so he didn't have to work. They took care of him.
9 kids.
Yeah.
He has a good sized family there.
Yeah, sure enough.
And most all of them still here in
All
Laurel
of them
County?
still right down there around the whole mill house. The biggest part of them.
What about sisters? Did you have any
I had
sisters?
2 sisters. One, that's where I went to in Indianapolis. One lived in Indianapolis, the other lived over Greencastle, Indiana, over next to Terry Holt, or is that Greenfield? Greencastle, I guess it did, but she lived over there, and they both passed away. So I'm the only one living in the family now. They're all gone but me.
So you spent most of your lifetime here. Can you tell us a little bit of what London and Laurel County was like when you was a boy?
I can tell you that. It was well, I don't know if you want to hear it or not, but there's certain people that run it, and that's the way it was. You couldn't go to the bank and borrow money unless you had. If you wanted $1,000, you had to have $10,000 equity to cover it, and the old people run it. They run the town, and they told a group of people that they didn't want nothing come in here. Kern's Bakery like they never got in here. They didn't want it to dirty up the town. So they'd like to never got hit in here, but you couldn't get a job there. You'd like to say if you knowed somebody, you might have got a job there. Karen Spinnings, they was here. They stayed a while. And another big deal they had was American Greeting down here. Well, they live in Corbin, but it's still in Laurel County. They give them free taxes till it come due, and then they slapped a big taxi bill on them. They said, we don't want to pay it. So they said, well, you have to pay her to move. They left. Good jobs. Back then, about paying about $14 an hour and working about 200 or 300 people. So that took a big lick out of Laurel County, taxes and stuff. So that's about all that is there.
When you was a boy going down through Main Street here, what did it look like? Could you kind of describe what maybe Main Street looked like?
Oh yeah, it looked rough.
Did it look rough?
Yes, it did. There was coal buckets running up and down Main Street, coal dropping off and everything else, but they didn't want the town dirtied up. Didn't want Kern's Bakery in there. But I couldn't figure why they let the trucks run through that coal stuff and slop of water running out the back of them in town, but they didn't want the bakery in.
Was there any grocery stores on Main Street when you was growing up?
Yep, there's one. Dyke Jones, I believe it was. Up there, well, it's right there on Main Street. And they had one down north there on Main Street, down there next to Kern's Bakery. And they had one over on next street over was Mills. No, it wasn't Mill Street. It's Broad Street, I guess. They had one over there. Felt Feasters, I believe. Feasters grocery store. I believe that's what it was. I'm not real sure.
What did you guys do when you were younger during that time for fun around here?
Run up and down. That's the boy I run around with had an old car, and we just get a little moonshine, run up and down the road.
Run up and down the road with moonshine.
Get us a pound of crack.
I don't think that's changed too much around here. Maybe it went from moonshine to whiskey, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's changed too much. Now, when did you wind up meeting Colleen, your wife, and you guys getting married?
Well, she lived where I live in that little restaurant right on 312, our first house on the left. That's where I met her. They had a little grocery store there.
You remember what year that was, or time frame?
I would say, let's see, it was about 50. I met her in about 54.
So how long was you and Colleen together?
Well, she went to Louisville, and she was worked in the bank in Louisville, and I was still in Indianapolis. And she worked there a while, and then she come to Indianapolis, and we got married. Come
And
back.
then you guys moved back down here.
And in 70, we stayed up there till 1970.
So not since 1970s though, you've been right here in Laurel County.
Yeah, right here.
And then Colleen wound up passing away.
Yeah.
When did she pass?
2021, I believe.
2021.
Yeah.
So you guys were together for a long
I'm
time.
telling you, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Colleen? What was she like?
She was about the sweetest woman you ever met. She worked at a bank up here in London before we got married. She worked at used to be Second National. She worked there when she got out of high school. She worked there when we got married. She went to Louisville about a year, and then we got married. And she went to Indianapolis. She went to work up there at First State Bank, I believe, in Indianapolis. And then we bought a house in Greenwood. So she went to work at, it's a PNC now in Greenwood, is Greenwood National Bank, but PNC bought it out. And she worked there till, well, she was working there when we moved back to London.
So in 1957, you had Connie. Is
Yeah.
that the only kid you guys had?
No, I got a son. He was born in 1967.
1967.
Yeah,
So 10 years later.
10 years later.
And then that was Williams would have been up in Indianapolis.
Yeah, well, he was born right after, well, yeah, he was born up there, but not long before we moved back here in 70. He was 67, about 3 years probably. He was just young when we come back.
So there's things in London that you would like to see change. You know,
Well,
part of us going out and putting, you know, the spotlight on community members like you, Jerry,
yeah.
has been here a long time.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's good things about London and there's bad things, and there's
Exactly.
things we need to change
Well,
in the
I
community.
think London's on the roll right now. If it's just going like it is, it's going to be something else. We're going to have a good roads, with something we didn't have. And I know that when you went in, probably the first month or so, they started the 192 bypass.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, it's making it come alive.
But if there's things that you could say to me and your council members, what would you like to see change within this community that we need to be working on?
Well, it just needs to be changed for the better, is what I'm saying, and not the worst.
Yeah.
And you're the man can do it. They need something coming in, more work, what I'm telling you.
Yeah, so we need to be focused on those good paying jobs.
Exactly, we need them. We
Yeah.
need the people. People don't understand the jobs. You put the jobs here, they're going to get taxes off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help London, and they can't understand that.
Yeah.
They don't want to go for it. They just want to leave it like it is and nothing. And I remember something when it was bad. Oh, well, it's bad enough that I no work here. Where I went to work up there, like I told you, that first job I got up there, when I put on my application, I worked at a sawmill. They said, you ain't got no problem. If you worked at a sawmill, you'll work anywhere.
Yeah. I actually, when me and Victoria were really younger and got together, I worked at a sawmill down in Knox County.
Yeah.
On
You
the-
know what it is.
On the green chain, they called it,
Yeah.
where the green lumber come in, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
I was off burn.
Yeah. You know, Jerry, we appreciate everything
Well,
that you do in this community and
I do everything I can,
for
and I
living
will.
in this city.
Anything I can do to help you, I can do it 110%.
I appreciate that.
Sure enough.
But, you know, it's people like you that's helped build this community. You've
Yeah.
been here, you've invested your life, your family's invested their life here.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just want to let you know that we truly appreciate you and everything
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've done and your family in this community.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to say it's got ways to go to get back to top, but yeah, we get there. We get there sooner or later.
We're going to get there.
Oh yeah.
You know, part of these highlights is to show community members, individuals that's been in this community for all their life, whether it be in the city or in the county.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just want to thank anybody and everybody that's been the pillar of this community. And
Yeah.
it's important as my office to show individuals like Jerry here that's been here and paid taxes here and voted here
Yeah.
and been a positive aspect of this community. And so if you got other people that you would like for us to spotlight or show or talk to, just reach out to my office and we'd love to do that.
Okay.
Jerry, we thank you today for
Okay.
taking time to speak with us.
But I ain't got nothing but time, so anytime you need me, holler.
Yeah, we'll do it. As always, London, we thank you for everything you do for this administration, and let's just continue to pray for those that's affected by the storm and
Yeah.
continue to be kind to one another. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Boy, that's the best thing they had out there in Texas, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really bad.